atheists. Okay, let's suggest a new religion, shall we? We'll call it, for want of a better word, Christianity. We'll call it that. But there's no ritual and there's no community unless you want to make friends with people. And there's no party line and there's no dogma and there's no rules. You see, you know the difference between right and wrong. Or even an idea of what it is. And you live in a society of laws. You know, you might have an idea you're breaking the law, not law, when you're kicking down someone's door. So it's kind of imposed upon you. It's imposed upon you as soon as human number 2 arrives. So if you want to remain 2 and be fruitful, you need not to be at war. So, okay, we're going to do it. There's a deal. It's called the Covenant. I love that, the Ark of the Covenant. It's like, well, that's kind of what you are when you speak the law and the truth. What? Yeah. Written on like the right and left of your heart, the 2 tablets of the 10 Commandments. And it's like, well, you can throw those things away as invalid, but it's a matter of, we could argue the point of every single one of them, that to engage in that, there is a repercussion and will lead to strife. So it's a matter of, if you recognize that, it's like, we can agree that these rules are valid. As to, we've seen it long enough over cause and effect that there are repercussions for these actions that lead to great sorrow and misery. It's like these rules are in tune with whatever the larger force is that we can't control, that has got the ability to fuck our day. It's like, agree to these rules and feel some peace, because the Spirit will no longer be punishing you. One-time deal. Can we agree that these rules are actually good rules? Go back to the old rules. Live by the old rules. And that be your covenant. That be your deal with the Almighty. Your deal. Your individual deal with the Almighty. So you look at them list of things and say, yeah, I've taken part in plenty of that. And it's like, where have you found yourself? How much have you suffered for breaking those rules? A great deal. Are you going to stop doing it? And do you understand the benefit of the lesson? Yes, boss. Be on your way. Sin no more. Fucking atheists, they hate people like me. Hate people like me. It's like, why? So, well, I can't convince you there is or isn't some sort of sky guy. God knows I don't believe in a sky guy. As soon as I start to sniff the machinations of man in my truth, I'm like, hello. There is no sky guy. There's no hippie Jesus either. Jesus was someone who got it. Jesus was someone who understood. But he was not by any means the only one who understood. What did he know? He knew the law. He was another Ark of the Covenant, wasn't he? Take the lid off, destroy you. Why? Well, he might ask you to reflect on your sins, what you've done, the rules you've broken that have caused strife, real life misery, real life suffering. But we'll say that that has no relation to the traditional notion of sin, shall we? We'll pretend that those things can be talked away and rationalised away, made excuses for, blamed on other influences or forces or confusion or mental illness. We'll blame it on that, shall we? And think you're smart. You sit there talking about matters of the Almighty because it's like I'm a real beast where it comes to that. It's a matter of, well, see, now I've told you about it, you can't really escape it. What if I'm right? What if it's everywhere, all the time, everywhere, everything? This very moment having an effect and everywhere. Inescapable. It's like you might as well make peace with it. Because one day you're going to die. And then you'll know for fucking sure. So make peace with it now. Make right with God now. Make your covenant. Make your deal. Understand that let's call it the bridge between God and man has been reopened. Go and acquaint yourself with the boss. Maybe understand as to why you might be having some trouble. Really think about it, because I tell you something, there are those in this world, right, whose souls are trapped. It seems like a funny thing to say, but it's like they're stuck in time. And it's like, in their cases, it's like God's been tricked. And is in some cases punishing them for things that they're not guilty of. God's confused. Doesn't have eyes and ears. Just yours. God's confused. Taking it out on the wrong person in some regards. It's like there are plenty of genuine victims in this world, And then just as many bullies playing the victim. And it'd be a matter of two sides of the same coin. It seems that all of these folks who play the victim have got it in them to revisit their abuse on others and to be re-victimised, bullied by others as well. And it becomes this great big cycle of mouthing off and threatening and quiet-like, implied. The armour of God marches right through that and finds it fucking hilarious. Immune from its slings and arrows. So, well, I'm right with God. And that's difficult. This isn't much of a challenge you're facing with these slings and arrows. I've done something real hard. And you throw this at me? Like, you're just telling me everything I need to know about you. You're making it easier. Damn. Yeah, I sit in judgment of Sam Harris. With the Almighty backing my play as to say, you, sir, are wicked and deluded and can't look in the mirror. And if you've really got no notion of what is right and wrong, you've been able to, in essence, draw people away from God by questioning the validity of sin as a driving influence on human behaviour. It's like, congratulations, you've committed the great sin against the soul. You've committed the sin that can never be forgiven. You've poisoned the minds of the young. And you think you're brilliant. Millionaire, supposedly brain scientist. It's a weird one, that, these brain scientists, we don't really know that much about the brain. And year after year we learn more and more and more. We know more about the brain now than we did 10 years ago. And up until then, it was pretty much guesswork. These guys were pioneers in a theoretical field. It's not wisdom, is it? It's not working out how it works. That's like cutting it open and having a look at it and seeing what happens when we poke it. Now, he might be a brain surgeon or a brain scientist. His morals are disgusting, despicable. If he can rationalise it away with words, it's not a thing. Penniless, broken down, working class guy like me. Judge that multimillionaire, well-known, respected, smart guy. Judge him as wicked. Not even fit to lace my boots, let alone yours.